Okay, so actually that did go well. The sound is a little different, but so here I am, um, February 2013. The last time I made a video, I think, before the little test one, was July 2012, and that was right before so many things happened. I had bad reactions to Neurontin and then something else. There were two medications they were trying, and I had the suicidal thoughts. I don't even know if I said this in July, but I was at my infusion hospital, and just at the time I was not feeling suicidal. We had already handled that the week before with my psychiatrist and my primary care and my rheumatologist. Just stop taking it, and we'll try the next thing. And the next thing led to the same thing, and then I stopped taking it. So it was a week um, from the feelings I had because of the medications. And I was just telling my infusion nurse, and she's so sweet, but she's very timid. And so she freaked out, guessing that I thought I was saying I was suicidal right that moment, and I wasn't at all. But for some reason, I just in that moment I realized, because she wanted to call in um a counselor or something, and I'm like, what? I said, we can call my psychiatrist or my psychologist or my rheumatologist or my primary care. They all know of the situation and know that the medications that were causing it, we stopped them immediately. I didn't take them for long. And but no matter what I said, and I just said, oh my gosh, I am caught in a system that in no way wants me to be independent. As much as they tell you that, we want in health preventative medicine, and we want all these preventative actions, really they need your money. And there's more emotion to it, and more guidelines and conflicts and non-compliance and all these things. And in that moment, it just all of it came over me. And I called my mom. She had to come out to the hospital, and my nurse told her, if either you'll have to sit with her, or we'll have to call the counselor in. And we're like, I'm not gonna say her name. Like, we've known you for years, years, you know. And I'd been getting once a week for 2 years. Like, if she were these things, you would know. You see her every single week. And then if I'm at the hospital for another appointment, I'm passing through waiting. So I just was like, and I'm a mom, have a son. Something said to me, that's it. I want my independence. I do not want other people deciding for me based on their mental health. See, I see it that way now too. Like, you have to remember, you're your whole package of craziness that everyone can kind of categorize. And so when you know at the moment that all of your crazy, your body's symptoms and all this aren't really bad at the moment, but people are reacting to you as if they are, you realize, oh my God, this medical game is bigger than I could have ever imagined. I mean, I go into my psychiatrist and I say worse things than that. Like, I was suicidal last week because, and I walk out without her having any worries because she knows me. And I've been seeing her for years. Same with my psychologist, and the same with the people at the infusion hospital. But, there's a community when it comes to different hospitals, infusion centers. There is a community there that's functioning that you get to see only once a week. Trust me, I'm there all day. I see a lot of it, but it hit me like, this is not good. This is not good for anyone. Um, and so I told them, I'm like, I won't be back. And my poor nurse, she looked like she was falling apart, apologizing. It's just the protocol. Because I'd never said to her, I am suicidal. I said I was, because of the medications last week. And I'm just letting you know, updating you like I do every week on what has happened when I was home. I said, I won't be back. She just started. I'm like, it's no big deal. It's not you. It's the system. And I don't want the system ruling my life. It's just too much. They can handle too much of my personal life, and I don't like it. And so then I got a home nurse, and my home nurse, oh my gosh, she's the best. But then it hit me again, like, well, between that as well. No, right, no, got the home nurse. Okay, the home nurse. I was like, as much as I love my home nurse, here's someone now physically in my home who does not have my illness, and even though she's great, she sees me once a week, and you can paint a picture in your mind of, she comes in and I light up. I love her. I light up and we just mesh and we vibe, and it gives me a lift, a boost for the time she's there. But when she leaves, I am so sick from the interaction, and she doesn't get to see that. And so I said, and then some other things happen with the infusion place, and there's this argument. I'm like, but none of this even has anything to do with me. Like, me as the personality, me as a human being, not me the body, you know. And then I'm like, okay, so me as the human being is saying, okay, I'm driving around, I am riding in this vehicle, and so I get to say what happens with this vehicle, whether other people like it or not, you know. So I was like, I gotta get out of this. And so now I access, well, before that I was de-accessing and doing all of my um, therapies and meds, pushing. I was doing all of that, just wasn't doing the accessing portion. Now I am. And my God, people, that freedom, it's made all the difference. But thank God for my nurse, because she's the one who's like, you need more than 2 liters a week, at least 3. And we pushed for all sorts of things, and it was great to have her. And she's still my nurse, just she doesn't have to be here, you know, during the week, and we can accomplish things another way. But um, also with September, right? End of September, October, that I went to Vanderbilt, and I'm just gonna say this, you know, uh, I had already spoken with someone who had been to Vanderbilt before, so I kind of knew, you know, what to watch out for. Um, but in the end, I spent thousands of dollars on that trip, and all I got from it was a confirmation. And I, I can, there's so much, there's so much, and if that's your goal, it's like, I just need something cemented. Like, what is this? Because for lots of reasons, it could be for um, what I'm saying? If you're filing for disability, for so many reasons, it is a great help to have an autonomic dysfunction center put a stamp on it. That will save you so much time in the end. I wish I had that way back before, but I didn't even know they existed in the beginning, because in the beginning you don't know what to look for. And but it's funny, I got my approval without that portion of it, because it was yeah, I didn't even have to go to court, because I physically could not sit up long enough, and so I didn't have to go. And that right off, my lawyer's like, the fact that you can't even come to the trial is a big deal. And so then I think Vanderbilt was later, so they had okayed it even without Vanderbilt stuff. But I know for those who struggle, it would be great to have that, so that you're not like me, you know. I don't know if it was 2 years, 2008, you know, 3 years without any money, any money. Okay, and so that stamp is good. I'm kind of over it. I try not to talk about it too much, because if I go too deep, it could really hurt. Um, but my doctors got what they needed. That was most important as well. They're like, here's the stamp, pure autonomic failure. Now that's the probable, possible multiple system atrophy. Yes, there's autoimmune issues going on. Yes, there's mast cell activation disorder. Yes, 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 yes. And so then they were able to move forward with the ideas that they had about things they could do. And so since my bladder is no longer working, just like the other parts, I went to see a urologist, and not only is he a urologist, he's a urogynecologist. So, phenomenal guy. And I started to self-catheterize, you know, to get the pee out. I didn't even know that the pee wasn't coming out. I didn't even know that the bladder was full, and it just added to the symptoms and to the pressure. Like when that pee, the bladder was always full, always, and that pressure just added to. And so, but then it's hard to get that catheter in if your bowel has so much in there that it's blocking the path for the catheter. So that was important, and that led to his suggesting that I get a device called Interstim. So I'm probably trying to do these in 15-minute segments. Okay, so Interstim by Medtronic, which is used for people who have problems with their bladder. And I was the first person, they were just going to try it. He said, even if, it's only a 2% chance that it'll work, that's great right now for us. So they had surgery for the temporary. And so they were like leads and stuff out of my skin, and I'm making adjustments and everything. And then he said it was up to me in this particular case, because there's no protocol for what I have. If I thought that it would anyway help me, he'd go ahead and take out the non-permanent and install the permanent. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And so now, so I have these implants. They're in my butt cheek, literally. See a lump on each butt, and I already have a big butt. So, and I just think there's the device, right? And you get one for the left side, one for the right side. And I hold this portion on the butt cheek. Then I sync it with this controller and change the settings. Boop, 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 boop. And that'll be for like the left. And then I have one for the right. Put that on my butt and then sync. Boop, boop. And so the funny part is about this device is that it has helped my lower colon, not the bladder. And so I can have bowel movements 1 to 2 times a day, even if they're not what a normal bowel movement would look like. It's better than, I mean, they couldn't even get it out with the enemas anymore. So the fact that this stimulator is helping is a big deal. Um, so I have two of those. My bladder's still having problems. In my stomach, I had the 4-hour gastric. I usually have the 90-minute gastric. I've had 2 or 3 of those. So I have the 4-hour, and I'm just kind of waiting. That was just last week. My GI wants to see if um, a pacer might help. And this way, the whole system could flow better, and the bladder would get some relief because I'm still having to catheterize. But as far as poop, and that's not what the urologist wanted to see. He wanted he wanted to see the bladder functioning. That's what he does. And the fact that it worked on my colon, he and my GI have been talking back and forth like about, it was just funny. And so that's great. But it's a lot of work trying to keep up with those two devices. Syncing my butt cheeks. I've gained so many more things since I last saw you guys, that I have to do to keep this body functioning. And it's 15 minutes in, I'll make a second part and just try to wrap it all up.